Only come out.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. I'm back with another First Impressions video. I did a First Impressions Playdate using this Violet Voss Hastag palette. I created this look that you see right here. If you want to see how I put these shadows on my eyeball and my thoughts on the palette, then just keep watching. This is the Violet Voss Hastag palette, which you obviously know that if you clicked on this video. I'm excited. I've never used any Violet Voss shadows before in my lifetime. I've wanted to though. They're on my list of brands that I wanted to check out. I've heard nothing but good things about Violet Voss eyeshadows, so I have very high expectations. Let's just open her up. That is gorgeous. I feel almost scatterbrained looking at this palette, not in a bad way, just in a I could do so many looks with this palette kind of way. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. That's how these First Impression Playdate videos work if you haven't seen one before. I just take a palette, brand new, First Impressions with you on camera. I've never ever used this before, and I'm gonna create a look on the spot. No clue what I'm gonna do, but we're gonna figure it out together. At the end of the video, I will break down my thoughts, give you my final take on it. I will let you know if I think the palette is worth it or not. So let's just get started. So my eyes are primed and set as they always are. I just use some concealer and put translucent powder over the top of it to prep it for the eyeshadow. I'm just gonna go ahead and take my Spectrum C06 brush and dip into Fresh. This is just a creamy white shade. This is the shade I probably would use to set my lid if I didn't already set it with translucent powder. I'm just kind of going through the motion just to use as many of these shadows as possible. I'm gonna use the same brush and dip into Sauce, and I'm just going to run this through my crease in small circular motions as my transition shade for the other shadows to blend out. I'm gonna take my Spectrum B06 brush and dip into Savage, and I'm pretty much gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna focus this in my crease, small circular motions. I'm noticing these shadows are super soft and blendable. Like, I'm barely putting any work into these shadows, and there's no kick up in the pan at all. If you don't know what that means, it's just when a bunch of powder flies up to the surface when I dip my brush in, which that's never a big deal to me. I don't really care, but I know it's a big deal to some people. I'm gonna use the same brush and dip into Goals, and I'm going to place this on the inner and outer corner as well and run it through my crease. I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth dipping in a few times, just building up the intensity slowly. I'm gonna take that first brush we used, the C06, and just blend those edges some more to soften everything. I'm gonna take my Morphe M506 and dip into TBT, and I wanna focus this up here in the crease more than the sides. Now this is pigmented. You can see that fuchsia really shining through. With the leftover that's on my brush, I will bring it down into this other shade a little bit, but I really want this mostly focused on the crease area. I have a feeling this is going to be one of my favorite palettes to wear in the summertime. I'm going to take that B06 that I used those orange shades on with no additional product and just run that through again, just to continue to blend and keep things seamless and very blown out. I want all these colors to shine through. With that M506, one more time, I'm gonna mix TBT with a tiny bit of Illy, or I Love You, or ILY. I'm very precisely just gonna focus this right in the very top portion of the crease, right in the middle. Once I have very little product on the brush, then I will sweep it out to the sides, but I want it very focused in the middle. One last time with that B06 and no additional product, just another blend in the crease. Next, I'm gonna take my A07 and dip into Vacay, and I wanna pack this on the very outer and inner portion of the eye, where I already laid down that orange shade previously. I'm loving the way this is looking so far. I'm gonna take that very first brush and just blend these edges out a little bit more. I feel like they're just a little harsh right now. So next I'm actually gonna take my Morphe MB16 and some concealer. I'm gonna cut the center of my lid where I want this halo to be. I decided I'm doing a halo eye, in case you didn't know. This is not the right brush for that. I'm just kind of dragging it straight down. and fanning it out into that vacay shade, but I don't want to cover it as much as possible. Using that same brush, I'm going to take some FOMO, and I'm going to pack this right on the very center portion of the lid. I'm going to take that A07 again, and I'm going to dip into Relevant. I'm just going to pack this in between those two shades that are going on the lid right now. I'm actually just going to cover that middle shade up. I'm just going to reapply it with my finger. I actually really like the way that looks. I think maybe I'll do that FOMO shade as my inner corner highlight. I'm going to take my A12 and dip into that shade, pop it on the inner corner. For my lower lash line, I'm going to start with just taking TBT on my Wet n Wild Dome brush. I'm just going to smoke that all out, all around my lower lash line from inner to outer corner. Next, I'm just going to take that Spectrum B06 from before with no additional product and just very quickly and lightly dust it over just to have a little of that orange shine through. I'm just repacking some Relevant on with my finger just to make it as metallic as possible right in the middle. One last blend with that initial brush. So this is the full completed look. I hope you enjoy it. These are the Flutter Lashes Selfie Lashes. They're my favorite. This is Jeffree Star's Berries on Ice liquid lipstick. I will have all the details to all the makeup that's on the rest of my face listed down below. Let's talk about this palette, shall we? I felt like the colors were extremely pigmented. I do feel like Goals and Savage are very similar once they're applied on the eyes, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, they are slightly different. They just perform very similar. I do wish there was a sparkly highlight shade for my inner corner and brow bone, but again, it's not that big of a deal. I can always dip into another palette or use the highlighter that I use on my face. But as far as the rest of the shadows go, I think they are incredible. They blended with such ease. I don't think I've had shadows that blended easier, besides maybe my Colourpop eyeshadows. I feel like the pan sizes are pretty large. I believe this palette's $45. It might be closer to $50, which is a little expensive for a palette, but I feel like you get a lot of shades, you get fairly large sizes. I think it's worth it. If you like playing with more fun colors, I think you'll enjoy this. And they're not so outrageously out there that someone that likes basic neutrals and gold tones wouldn't enjoy this. I feel like if you eliminate this bottom row, it looks like a basic palette, to be honest. It's just so much fun. I feel like I'm gonna use this palette a lot. I actually wasn't sure I was gonna buy this. Mackenzie actually suggested that I pick it up, and at first I was like, I don't know if I'll use those shades. I felt like I had these shades, but now that I have them in my hand, I don't have a lot of these. I don't play with purples or pinks too often, but I feel like this palette's gonna make me play with more of those fun summery colors. I do think this is worth it. If these are the kind of colors that catch your eye, I feel like even for a beginner, as one of your first palettes, you would really enjoy this, because like I said, there's these basic neutrals up here too. You can do pretty normal looks with this palette, or you can do something a little more fun like I did. As usual, if you enjoy these first impressions kinds of videos, please give me a thumbs up so I know to keep making more. Hop over to my Instagram, it's beautybybettyjean, just like here, and follow me there. I post every single day. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm posting every 3 days. Let me know what kinds of videos you want to see. I have some stuff planned out for this month, but I'm always open to hear your suggestions. There's still some days that I need to figure out what video I want to film for it, so let me know what you want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, bye! This is the Violet Voss I can't speak. I'm extremely into... Excuse me, Absol. Absol! He's so rude! Kanani, do you want to be in my video?